Hi, I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video, we are going to be answering the question, why did you meet? I love today because my spirit guide was the one that stepped in and was like, we're doing this one. And I was like, yes, I love it. Not only because I love to hear their opinions, but I love the reason as to why they wanted this one covered. So they want this one is a very big spectrum. So yes, it does include romantic options, but we can also be talking about friends, co-workers, even acquaintances. They said they wanted even small interactions included because they want you to see that there is specialness and lots of reason as to why we come into each other's lives, no matter how big or small. I'm not saying it can't be the big ones, but it can also include the small ones. So you can feel that much more special and wondrous about life and how kind of everything has a meaning and is benefiting you. It's like realizing everything is working out best case scenario, even on a very small scale, even when you don't know it. So I love that. I love that very hopeful perspective. Now, as you can see, we have 4 groups in front of us. Group number 1, 2, 3, 4. They even also picked out these beautiful card coverings, so I love that too. So let me know, take a second to pick the group that you resonate with most. Now that you have, you can go down to the description where you can go to your designated group with its mark time stamp. And let's get started with group number 1. Group number 1, let's find out, why did you meet? By looking at the cards. We've got Queen of Wands in reverse, King of Wands upright, the Star card in reverse, the Tower in reverse, and the 4 of Wands upright. Give me one moment, if you will, to just look at the cards and talk to my spirit guides. Okay. Ooh, I'm doing a very light clap. I'm not sure how loud the clap will come through in the mic, so I'm doing it very quietly, a very quiet little clap of excitement. I'm excited because this reading is incredibly specific, which we always love, so we could really kind of narrow down who this person is. But also, this person is not as significant as you think in like your connection to them, but they greatly spiritually impacted your life and improved it for the better. And I love these type of readings because they will make you be aware of how important every interaction is in our life and how much we are just greatly benefiting from it. Very much like what we were talking about in the intro, which I love. So let's get started. With the Queen of Wands in reverse, this is referring to an older female. But this older female, older is so relative in tarot, so it does not have to be an actually older female, especially if you are an older female yourself. It could be a year, it could be 5 years. It's just that think of it as they are older than you. Now, with it being in reverse, I'm being told also with my spirit guides that this would not be someone of like, it would not be a mother figure. It would not be like a mentor. This would be someone you don't know very well, in fact. This would be someone who it could be an acquaintance, like you would have just met them for a very short moment. You had like an impromptu conversation with a stranger. It could be an acquaintance at some sort of like gathering, or it could be someone who maybe is in your life, but when you think of your go-to people to celebrate things with, hang out with, they're just not the top of the list. You think nice things about them, but they're just, you're not really that close to them in that kind of way. Now, I can see over here and here with the peacock showing up, and actually, if you can believe it or not, these beautiful bare feet over here, that they were a part of your spiritual evolution, which is a really, really big deal. When I'm referring to spiritual evolution, now by default, we all evolve. That's super normal. But when I use this terminology, these would be really big deal experiences in your life. This is when people start to have their third eye open. This is when people gain incredible depths of compassion, or feel like they no longer are deeply affected by others because they see the bigger picture. These would be huge, significant outlook changes on life or the way you experience things. It's a pretty big deal when they come about. They don't happen very often for most people, unless you're like really actively working on it, and even then it's still normal to only go through it every so often. So they were actually a very big helping hand with this. Not only because of what the peacock represents with spiritual evolution, but interestingly enough, whenever I travel to the spirit realm, everybody has bare feet. With bare feet being, the connection of like there's no barrier between you and the earth type of thing. That's a real thing. That's sort of spirituality going through your feet. It doesn't only go through your feet, but it's a big deal. So that really is a thing. Going on here with this star card in reverse. The star card shows me that they would have come up in your life when the only way I can explain it is like you didn't feel like you were on your path in life. This can come about with many different emotional ties. You don't know what you're doing. Maybe you didn't feel really sad, but you just felt bored. Nothing was getting you excited. Maybe you were going about the day to day and you weren't even bored or unfocused or anything like that, but you didn't really have a true awareness of where you were going next. So it can range from anything from very intense feelings of being like, I don't know what I'm doing, to you don't even maybe perceive it in that way consciously, like on the surface. It's not very something you're thinking about every second. But anyways, they popped up at an unexpected time in your life. And with this card being ruled by, this is so funny, Uranus. I am not pronouncing it wrong. This is the new enunciation by like NASA and stuff like that, which absolutely has me laughing because they basically were like, we don't want to pronounce it the other way anymore. So anyways, with it being ruled by Uranus, this is all about your inner voice and unexpected changes, but I want to specifically focus on the inner voice scenario. This person had a deep effect on that. In fact, I can see by the Tower card in reverse, it had been an issue for a very long time. It appears, and this is what my spirit guides step in, they said that there's something that you regularly did to sort of prevent your inner voice from coming out to everybody else, to the public, from you truly expressing yourself, understanding what is your inner narrative, connecting to that, and then letting others know and being your most authentic self, this sort of verbal, expressive kind of way. There was something you regularly did to pull it back. Now, think of it this way. This could be a habit, like every time you're about to express yourself, you become overwhelmed, and then you take on an unhealthy habit in order to prevent yourself from really feeling connected to yourself, that type of thing. This could range from, well, I don't want to get too specific. Unfortunately, I'm unable to get really specific because of rules and stuff. But just understand, it would be a way you try to hold yourself back. But this could be also a sort of inner monologue you have in your head. Every time you have an opinion, you think, oh, well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It appears they were like, no, what are you doing? You have something to say, let it out. Stop doing that. Or they had some sort of effect. It could still be very subtle where they said something offhand, you kind of listened to that, and it seemed to have relieved that, which I absolutely love. This importance carries on greatly in the Four of Wands, because the Four of Wands is about a sense of structural home. But home has a big vibe behind it in tarot specifically. When you feel like you need to recuperate, when you feel like you need to gather your thoughts and be the best version of yourself in order to then, figure out like, okay, what do I think and feel, and then tell other people about, you have a home. This can be represented from anything from an internal home, like you feel safe inside your head. This could be a physical place to live. Either way, it's the idea of home. And it can also exist, fun fact, with people. Sometimes, you feel like you found a sense of home in someone else. Well, being able to find this inner voice helped you connect to your sort of inner home. And once you have that safe spot, once you have that structure you feel like you can lean on, people don't give it enough attention. They think things like money and love and what's the word, reassurance, like being told you're doing a great job, is going to give them the sense of safety and stability that really you need to find within the quote unquote home within yourself, or the safe spot you have. And you finding this inner voice gave you that. Once you have that, you were able to build an empire. And when I say an empire, I'm referring to anything from your career to how you interact with others, just building your whole life on top of it. It essentially gave you the path. This was the bricks of the road that you now walk upon, which I absolutely love. So yeah, they had a pretty significant interaction in your life, if you can believe it or not. And it was just a very small kind of one-off conversation, one-off comment, and it sort of dominoed effect all this positivity. So I absolutely love this for you. I'm happy, and I hope you feel more connected to yourself, and not even knowing that this person brought into their life. I'll be honest with you, I don't think they really know they had that effect on you, but that's how it is in the universe. I hope this made you feel wondrous and excited about your interactions with others, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below, how did you feel most connected to your inner voice? How did you feel like this was kind of brought into your sort of home? How do you describe home to yourself? I would love to know in the comments below. Also, consider giving this video a like, a subscribe, hit that notification bell. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. And I will see you in the next one. Let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 2, let's find out, why did you meet by looking at the cards? We have Page of Wands in reverse, Knight of Wands in reverse, the Hermit in reverse, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, wow, all in reverse, and the Four of Cups in reverse. Okay. Let me look at this. Ooh, I love this. Oh, I love this. Oh, I love this so much. Okay, this is great. So what's so cool about this is, while this person did greatly and positively affect your life by sort of kind of pushing you in a more momentous direction, which I love, you actually helped them a significant amount. It was not a coincidence why you were drawn to each other. It was like a mutual benefit kind of thing. So let's get into it. So over here, this is the most important card in the Hermit in reverse. I'm being told by my spirit guide, this would have been someone who is pretty social, and they would have approached you at a time in your life when you were more stagnant. This stagnation could be anything from feeling too shy to speak your, whatever you have on your mind and share it, to maybe you weren't leaving the house a lot, but you could have been social but felt like you weren't really interacting with people. Either way, it was a sense of like being, within yourself, and they pulled you out of that in order to interact with other people. But the specific reason as to why you guys met and you kind of pulled them, or they pulled you out, is based on your knowledge you were meant to share. I double checked with my spirit guide and was like, oh, do you mean because they're very insightful? Like they have a lot of great opinions and stuff like that? And they said, no, knowledge. Knowledge as in, often when we're by ourselves and, there's just something so fun about like looking up Wikipedia articles and just kind of being really well acquainted with how the world connects and the deeper histories on stuff. It's just one of like many people's favorite pastimes. It appears this could be anything from a skill though. Maybe privately you have a hobby you really love, or you really read up on something. Whatever it is, it was now time for you to take everything you learned and share it with others. It was of value, it was of note, and you were meant to gather it and bring it out into the world. Now over here, this idea gets expressed upon even further when we have the Queen of Pentacles. It appears through this card, I can see that you were unaware of your value and capabilities. You're just kind of like, oh yeah, I can do this, whatever. Oh, I mean, I don't know if that's a big deal that I know a lot about this subject, or maybe you didn't even there's not a lack of a connecting the dots then. Maybe you're even sharing it now and not realizing it. It's like good example is when people have like way too much quote unquote useless knowledge, where it's like maybe you know a lot about the history of certain genres of music and you're like, I don't know if that's of any note, and you were spending a lot of your time researching it and looking into it, and then you start sharing it with other people and people are very interested, and you start to help people have a greater appreciation of what happened then and what it meant now and how it affects things. Do you see what I'm saying? So whatever it was, you had the capabilities. Whenever we have a queen situation, this is somebody who's incredibly masterful in their craftsmanship, especially with the pentacles being there. But here's the cool thing. When the Queen of Pentacles is in reverse, this is like energy that's being stored. It doesn't have a cap on it. It hasn't stopped flowing. It's sort of like building up. And then once it's free, once it's released, oh my goodness, it is a giant explosion of creativity and energy that gets magnetized out into the world. So definitely anticipate that a lot of people are sort of going to be, if they aren't currently right now, they are swarming your way. You have taken a lot of time in hibernation, if you will, intellectually, to gain these abilities or knowledge, whatever that may be. And it's paying off and it's being drawn to you. Also, I want you to remember this, when we do have a queen scenario, you should have a lot of confidence. If you're like, well, I'm working on it, I'm trying to be, a better version of myself, I'm trying to be better at expressing this knowledge or sharing it with people, that's fine, but just understand you're already there. You already are a master of your craft. You're just gaining confidence and connecting to what's already there, not gaining more ability to then have confidence. Do you see what I'm saying here? So pat yourself on the back. You earned it. Now I can also see over here with the Four of Cups in reverse, there was a lot of boredom, in your life. I don't know if boredom is the word. My spirit guide more describes it as just stagnation. It's just repeating that idea that like you needed the momentum, you needed inspiration, and they came at the perfect time to sort of influence that and get you excited and be like, you know what? I feel more excited and connected to my craftsmanship. And again, I don't mean to be redundant with terminology, but knowledge, what you have, your wisdom, and information you hold. And you know what? I'm not that excited about it unless I'm sharing it with other people, unless people show me how exciting it is, again, like kind of reigniting a passion, if you will. Now, this is where it continues to get more exciting with these two cards over here. So, the reason why this other person came into your life is not just to affect you and bring this out, but it's what you naturally had to offer is what they benefited from as well. With the Knight of Wands over here in reverse, which by the way, I want to take a moment to show you how absolutely cute this card is. Look at all the little freckles, little spoon, this beautiful shading. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Love this card. So anyways, with the Knight of Wands in reverse, it appears it was an energy problem is how my spirit guide described this. I have 2 videos actually on the channel describing energy. A lot of people use this term blanketly and don't, actually I'm going to be doing a video soon about spiritual surgery. It's really interesting. Our energy system is more than just a feeling. It is a navigation tool, and there's actually a lot of I don't know how to describe this any other way, but like spiritual science behind it. Like when it's off, it greatly affects how we can connect to ourselves, other parts of ourselves. It can cause emotional reactions. I'm still giving it too generalized of a term, but the point is, their sort of like inner energy structure was off, and it needed to sort of be recalibrated, if you will. And because it was off, it was causing them to have almost too much energy and excitement without a clear direction. And so it was kind of like a constant sort of like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. And because there was no clear directional path, it was sort of starting to emotionally upset them and burn them out and become overwhelming for them. And they were drawn to your more kind of clear-cut even if you felt like, first of all, there was definitely them being pulled to somebody who was, they wouldn't describe you as stagnant, but rather an anchor, which is really beautiful. And even though you're social now and you might feel like, I'm still, a homebody, this is still who I am, that's fine. You're still in momentum, but there's a sort of anchoring presence to you that they feel really drawn to. And plus, even if you didn't know it, subconsciously they picked up on you being more clearer with your path. And that's very inspiring for them and what they needed, because it's like they had all this energy and passion to put somewhere, they just weren't quite sure where to put it, and you kind of had more of a clearer, even if it wasn't clear to you, it was kind of written all over your face, so to speak, and they wanted to be a part of that process and kind of, be inspired and have that effect rub off on them. Now that idea gets carried out over here with the Page of Wands in reverse. They were sort of understanding what of value they had to offer the world, essentially. It's really interesting because pages are associated with the student, which means you're sort of in a learning process, taking in knowledge, and you already had the knowledge to give. Do you see sort of the parallels that are going here? I wouldn't say you were meant to be like a teacher, but it's like you had that sort of end of the road sort of energy behind you, and they wanted to kind of be around it and pick it up, if you will, which is really beautiful. So essentially, they got you kind of out of your shell, sharing this value that you had to offer the world, and you gave them a sense of direction and anchor and something to do with all this sort of wonder and just, I don't know how to put it in other ways, energy. So I love this. You greatly positively affect each other. I hope this is a close friend. This can be a romantic partner for sure. I'm picking that up as well. But I hope it's someone you see a value, is what I'm trying to say, because this is a really beautiful mutualistic relationship going on here, no matter how it is. This also can include things like co-workers and stuff like that. Anyways, please let me know in the comments below, what is it of value that you have to offer the world? Don't be shy. Don't hold back. Try to dig deep. Even if you think it's insignificant, try to find the significance. What is it that you know a lot of or are very skilled in? And share it. Let's let's connect to each other in that way. I love that. Anyway, I'm wishing you the best. Please consider giving the video also a like and a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It helps us channel you would not believe. I will see you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 3. Group number 3, let's find out, why did you meet by looking at the cards. We have 9 of Wands in reverse, 10 of Wands in reverse, the Devil card in reverse, Knight of Swords in reverse, and 3 of Wands in reverse. Wow, a lot of reversals in all of the readings. Let me just look at this and speak to my spirit guides one moment. Sorry, I'm just getting this all organized. Give me just a second to look over some stuff. Okay. Okay. All right. Wow, this is a pretty heavy topic. Let's get into it. So the main person I'm seeing note, I can actually get really specific and see over here in the Knight of Swords in reverse. This would have been a male. This would have been someone between the ages of 25 and 40. But they greatly affected your life. It seems like they were very focused on you in order, they gave a lot of attention was being brought your way. They were very focused and honed in on you. That's sort of the energy I'm getting. They were very conscious in helping you. That's how I want to put it. Now, so the first thing I want to start on is how you sort of attracted them into your life and being unaware how deeply it affected you. So over here in the 3 of Wands in reverse, there was a lot of internal asking the universe, please universe, can you help me? I'm really struggling. I can't seem to overcome this. Can you help me, universe? I wish there was something out there. I wish something could happen, but it was a lot of not letting others know how much you were suffering and just kind of looking withinward to ask, what do I do? What do I do next? And this was you sort of kind of sending out by looking inwards, finally looking at yourself and being like, I need help. How can I get it? Well, that message was received. You were kind of unaware of how much it was received and how much it helped, but this other person was a great influence and a part of this. The main thing I can see they helped you with is over here in the Devil card in reverse. This is all about overcoming a pretty bad, unhealthy habit. Normally, I keep this pretty general and say that this is a way you could have put yourself, oh wait, hold on a second. Okay, never mind. Sorry, my spirit guide's correcting me. So it can include things like when you put yourself down, to taking something you shouldn't be taking, to just doing something that's harmful to your body or mind too much. And just, things that maybe are good in some cases in the proper amount and then kind of overdoing it in other ways. But I'm being given the energy that it would have been a pretty big deal of how much it affected your life and took you down, essentially. The main way I see that they helped you in this regard is through the Devil card being ruled by Saturn. This is such a weird way of putting it. My spirit guide describes it as organization. They use the term putting your ducks in a row is the best way that it can be described. They kind of helped you organize things enough in order to, that seemed to be the kind of key to you overcoming this issue. Now I can see over here in the Ten of Wands, their influence and help of you overcoming this helped you dodge a very horrible, bad, I cannot be more serious about this. It would have gone in a really bad direction. It would have not had a happy ending. And they've helped prevent this, which is beautiful. But something important happened in the process. It's interesting here. Well, actually, no, wait, we do have... Oh, no, I was going to look for the Death card. We do not have the Death card. Okay, well, I'm surprised we don't. But the way my sort of spirit guide is referring to it as, especially with the imagery here, is see this skull right here? Think of this as the version of you that went away forever. I have to choose my words very carefully. That part of you is no longer here. That it served its purpose, and when we go through these sort of transformations, they're very painful and metamorphosis oriented, and it can be kind of difficult to go through them initially. When you went through this period in your life, this sort of acted as the seed and simultaneous fertilizer to help you gain new roots. It's almost like you grew new roots first before you grew up, which is normal. But if you actually look at the way kind of plant life grows, it's a combination of roots and a stem growing at the same time, and they grow at the same time. It seems like you gained a sense of foundation through this interaction with this other person. And this was kind of the beginning of turning something that was once a hindrance to you into a blessing that is benefiting you. And I'm happy to say that I can see a bit of a sort of psychic prediction stuff going here, where it's going to benefit you greatly in the long run, which is beautiful, because then you can look back at this thing that you felt was harmful to you. Wow, I'm getting, whoa, my vibrations are going crazy right now. The best way I can describe this, because I'm getting a lot of images shown to me very intensely, is you don't know how much you're going to have a positive future and look back at this and see that you were sort of meant to go through the bad in order to ignite such good, and realize that you learned very well through the contrast of this experience. It's almost sort of a similarity to when people say you can only know the good if you know the bad. Well, it was really bad. It's really good now. And this sort of built a new foundation to help you not only put away the past and build something positive from it, and see that you can always build something positive. That can be like sort of your metaphor going forward in life, that if there's something bad, you can always turn it to greatly benefit you. But also a whole new perspective. Because when we're trapped in this kind of mindset going on here in the Devil card, we only see our life as being without that habit or with that habit. Hey, I'm happy because I'm not doing this. Rather than this person's influence and the whole organizational ducks in a row helped you see, oh, there's a life beyond even, there's a third option where this isn't even in your spectrum, your thought, you see yourself. I'm trying to not be redundant. I apologize. I'm trying to find the wording. Some people would be like, wow, I used to only think of my life as performing this career, not performing this career. I had no idea there was a life even outside of it. That's the best way I can put it. And I'm not referring to just career. Obviously I'm referring to many other aspects, but that's just one example. Now over here in the Knight of Wands in reverse, another way that they really greatly helped you, which I love, is this sort of, we could describe it as like an ego death. It's when you kind of are at the end of an issue, and now, I'm so sorry, I'm not trying to run on, I'm trying to find the right wording. It's so hard because when I'm getting all these images and vibrations in my head, I'm trying to translate it as fast as possible, but some things are easier understood through sort of feeling, kind of like falling in love for the first time, rather than words I can really find the right words to describe it. So thank you so much for being patient with me. The best way that my spirit guide expressed this idea was that you were almost there at the finish line. You were there ready for the next cycle in life, the next situation, but you were sort of getting in your own way by overthinking things, thinking that you had to be in a lot of control. Weirdly, through this method, which I feel like organization is a version of control, it tricked your mind into thinking you had a lot of control, but you actually, in fact, started to get out of your way and let this beautiful universal flow, the type of flow that, like often in Taoism, the belief is like, if you do less, more will work out in your favor because there's a natural flow and all you have to do is get out of the way and enjoy the current. It's very much that sort of scenario and vibe I'm picking up. And they helped you in this manner. So, unbeknownst to you, because your messages were received, things got better. You avoided a pretty bad scenario, and I see a lot of like really amazing, oh wow, I cannot express how big it is of a positive future you're going to have. This feels like I'm vibrating so intensely. It's a very intense, gargantuan future filled with like, you'll be bigger than you ever knew you could be. That's the only way I can describe it. The effect you'll have on other people, how big you'll feel like larger in life in your own life. It's just an intense energy that I'm picking up that is difficult for me to convey, but I hope it came through in the reading. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please consider giving this video a like, comment, and subscribe. Consider hitting that notification bell as well. I am wishing you the best. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 4. Group number 4. Let's find out, why did you meet by looking at the cards? Wow, I am... Whew, I might need a moment. I'm still reeling from that last one. Makes me think of when I used to first read tarot on this channel. That I'm going to get into reading these cards in one moment. I just wanted to share some things with you. I'm going to have a moment. Sorry, I thought that was a siren in the background. When I read cards, it can be very intense. I am connecting to my spirit guides and you guys, and that energy is not a joke. When I start to feel, it could be anything from sadness to happiness to like intense possibilities. It can be taxing on me. It can be intense. It's an amazing experience. I'm happy to do it. I'm not, this is not a bad thing, but whew, I am still feeling that really intensely, and I am feeling it. I'm feeling it for this one too. Whoa. Okay, let's do this. Let me look at these cards real quick to see what we got here. Oh yeah, it's just getting more. Whew. I'm going to do the best I can to focus this one. I see the message. It's very clear, but the message is super, super, super intense for me. I'm feeling it. This is a good thing for you guys. This just shows me how big the energy is from you. How I'm trying to find the right words. When I'm picking up energy like this, it's going to cause me to be a bit rambly. I'm going to do the best I can not to be that way, but just please bear with me. This would be very intense. You are not aware of how incredibly powerful you are and how much like you are on the right path in life more than you are aware of. It can be incredibly magnetizing. It can cause people to be really volatile back. Sometimes they are jealous or can't handle what they are feeling or picking up, or how sometimes you're benefiting them from just being in their presence and it's too much for them, so they have an intense reaction back. I often find when people are like this, they try to put a cap on their sort of power. It's very similar to kind of the last reading I just did. People who have this intensity tend to also harbor a lot of sort of self-doubt. And, it's like the more intense you are, the more you want to kind of hold it back. So these people are often the least confident. So let's get into specifics though. So over here, I want to point out in the Eight of Wands in reverse, the imagery of this crow. Specifically, my spirit guide is describing how the crow, it represents the idea of mystery. But it's like messages from the universe type of mystery. It's the type of mystery that it's like a secret that you know is there, but will ultimately be revealed to you in the end. And it's a big deal. It can point at to like who you really are, how you affect other people. I don't know how to describe it another way, but it's very intense and it's large. Anyways, so with the crow taking on this gorgeous rainbow effect, it has that type of intensity behind it. I didn't clarify myself well enough. The crow can just be a general mystery of like, ooh, what does it mean? What do I need to know? But with the rainbow feathers taking flight here, it shows how intense it is for you, essentially. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm struggling so much. Apologies. I don't mean to. This is tarot. Spirituality can be intense, guys. This is why I meditate. This is why I try to like ground myself. Take this as sort of by effect, you seeing it, learning from it. So, anyways, it's intense. Anyways, with this sort of part of yourself, there became a certain level of self-awareness. You couldn't quite identify it. You didn't quite know that these were the words to describe it, but you could feel a sense of opportunity and energy and momentum coming your way. But unfortunately, you sort of put a cap on it. You subconsciously, especially with the subconscious being exhibited over here with the Hanged Man, you wanted to kind of like hold yourself back because it can feel kind of like a tidal wave, just like how I'm feeling right now. Whew, it is intense. And you kind of became too self-aware. This is why with the Eight of Wands being in reverse, it shows that there is still a lot of opportunity waiting around you, a lot of magneticness around you, people being drawn to you, people wanting to offer you things, from anything from love to gifts to opportunities in your career, so on and so forth. But you kind of are putting a wall in between you and receiving it due to you trying to process this kind of energy. When we're processing this type of energy, we think we need to kind of be aware of how it functions and then tell it where to go. But the power you hold is due to not needing to do that. It's sort of knowing things, very much like tarot and psychicness, knowing things without being understanding why you know them. And I want to be clear here because a lot of people don't understand this. When you are psychic or when you are connected to the spiritual and flow in life, you do not need to feel it very intensely. It does not need to, think about how intense that would be. Every decision you make, from drinking a cup of coffee to going out for a walk, you know you need to do that. You feel the vibration. It does not always feel like that. A lot of the time we do things without even thinking, and they are ultimately divinely like putting us on really significant paths in life. And it can be as insignificant sounding as a cup of coffee or things like that. So keep that in mind. Anyways, so this is where the sort of manhandling of your life came in. Don't worry, we're going to get to the other person and how they affect you, but it's important you understand the setup. So over here in the Hangman in reverse, this is when your life, again, it's that repetition between these two cards of stagnation. Actually, that stagnation repeats in all four of these cards over here. This is when you started to feel like, nothing feels quite right. I don't know why I'm not quite connecting to something. Opportunities aren't quite connecting. I'm not, it just doesn't feel like I'm really sure of anything or sure that it's the right decision for me. Well, interestingly enough, this is more of you you thinking you need to know, back to the conversation we were saying before, and needing to kind of control and be aware of every aspect of sort of the behind the scenes universe stuff going on here. Again, the crow with the mysteries and stuff like that. And this is what slowed you down, because you thought you needed to feel the right moment. But that's just not the case. This is all perspective. This is all sort of you limiting yourself. Often with the hangman, it is a sort of, it's just not the right timing kind of case and scenario. But I am being told by spirit guides, and oh my goodness, am I feeling that no, everything's fine. At any given moment, you could explode into success, and your wildest dreams could be realized, and intense and synchronicities and all this other beautiful stuff. But you're the one kind of putting a cap on it. Anyways, this idea gets continued again. Oh my goodness, it's getting repeated over and over again. And we can see the byproduct of how this happened in the Queen of Swords. So with the Nine of Wands, this essentially repeats the idea I'm repeating over and over and over again, which is the idea that you're almost at the finish line, you're almost realizing your power, but you're getting in your way. You need to step back. You have done your part. Now it's time for the universe to make sort of unexpected events happen, things to work out in mysterious ways. You don't need to know the process and the details. Get out of the way, get out of your head, stop thinking you need to exactly know it or feel it next, and let it do its thing. It's understandable why you're doing that, because when we have a Nine of Wands scenario, this is someone who's been doing it for a while. They've been through a lot. Often this can carry sort of energy where somebody feels almost beaten up by life and their interactions with other people. And so because you have this energy, you're like, okay, I need to make sure that I get to that finish line. I am exhausted. I am tired. I can't do this anymore. I'm not saying you have to have this energy. It's just that it can sometimes pop up with the Nine of Wands. So with the Nine of Wands being reversed, it's like, guess what? Yep, that's right. The finish line's right there. But in this scenario, lay back on your lawn chair and let someone else drive the race car, because you can just watch yourself past the finish line, essentially, which is really beautiful. The main thing that sort of got in the way of a lot of this stuff, rather than just simply describing it as the mind and you think you need to be in control, is the harmful ways you put yourself down with the Queen of Wands. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords in reverse is like, it's a very smart person. So this does point to your intellect and your insightfulness. There is a compliment going in there. We know that already with what we've described before with your intense power and connection. I'm not seeing any specific cards that talk about psychic energy, but I gotta be honest with you, when people have this sort of connection, don't be surprised if you have very intense, abilities here going on. And, yeah, I'm trying not to ramble here. Anyways, when we have a Queen of Swords in reverse situation, this is someone who's using this intellect and insightfulness to put themselves down. They're just too powerful. They are too intelligent. It's like being able to way too perfectly see a flaw and pick it apart and harm yourself and put yourself down. You're using it as sort of your own abilities as ammo against yourself. This is what then caused you to be like, well, I have to protect myself. This is very protective energy over here in the Nine of Wands. I've got to, okay, you know what? They're right. I do have this, and this wrong with me. Okay, then I'll do this, and this to make the situation better and help it keep it flowing. And then, oh, you're right. Nothing feels right. I'll do this. And don't worry, those opportunities come. Little do you know, all of this thinking is preventing what's naturally already flowing your way. So this is when the other person pops up. In the Seven of Swords, this can, interestingly enough, relate to someone who has been combative with you, and it was not like a fun interaction between them. This can be arranged from anything from a romantic relationship, friendship, coworker, someone you barely know. Either way, it is somebody who's sort of kicking your butt. In some cases and scenarios I'm picking up, it's a positive thing. It's like they're giving you tough love, or they're like, come on, you can do this. And they're really on you, being like, come on, get your stuff together. Stop being in your head. You got this. And they're sort of supportive in an intense way. And in other cases and scenarios, it doesn't seem like they have your best interest at heart. They're really pushing against you. They're really affecting you. But this sort of pushback is mirroring your energy. It's trying to push you back to the point that you almost can't take your own sort of pushback you're putting onto yourself, and then you're like, I can't take it anymore. Stop it. I don't want this. And it positively has an effect of you opening up here. And I do see the opening up happening. I do feel like this is still going on right now. And I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to end this reading shortly. I'm just becoming too overwhelmed by the energy. So know that you're extremely powerful. I deeply feel it. And this, what would normally be a negative thing, is greatly helping you out. Please let me know in the comments below how you are realizing your energy. Maybe talk about this other person and realize the positive effects that even a negative interaction can have. I am wishing you the best. I will see you in the next one. I care about you deeply. And goodbye.